Hi guys, welcome to another video from Motorbike Gaming, and today we're taking a look at Invincible Versus. Invincible Versus is a tag fighting game based on, obviously, the Invincible comic book series and Amazon Prime original. I've never been a huge fan of the tag type of fighting games because I kind of like play them like they're not, if you understand. So I'll just play one character until he gets knocked out, then I'll play the next one, then I'll play the next one. Which is very much not the way you're supposed to be playing these type of games. In terms of my familiarity with Invincible, I'd watched the first season before I played this, and I'd read some of the comic book as well, probably more of the comic book than I'd actually, gotten through the story with the first season on Amazon. Having bought this, I've rewatched the first season on Amazon, and I'm making my way through the second season, which is intolerable now because of the ads they've added to Amazon Prime, which are at YouTube levels. I mean, on my personal YouTube account, I am paying for YouTube Premium, so I don't have to suffer through this, but I don't really want to do it on Amazon Prime because there's a few things I actually watch on Amazon Prime. But that's beside the point. We're here to talk about the game. So the game is really well done. It's made by some of the team that did the Killer Instinct reboot that came out on the Xbox One when that launched, and you can tell the game is very, very combo heavy. You need to understand how to do the combos to have any form of success, and I don't dislike combo games, but it's not. I'm more about special moves rather than combos in fighting games. So as a fighter, I can recognize it's well done and everything like that, but it's just not my type of fighting game, whereas I'm more of like an Injustice 2 style fighting game, whereas this is very much, you can see Killer Instinct throughout it. It is very much like that. Perhaps not quite as involved, maybe a little bit more simple. There is a combo you can just do with the light strike, and you will see me do it many times in the footage, where you just hammer the light strike button and you will do a combo, and then you end up with a bit of a super which burns down some of your meter. So another thing which kind of is a little bit of a strike against it is I play fighting games primarily for the story content. So things like Mortal Kombat and Injustice suit me down to the ground because there's a nice lengthy story in it, and then I can go out and do the sort of grindy sort of towers and finding all the arcade endings and stuff like that, and then I can go and do whatever flavour they've put in, whether it's doing a mini open world game with fights in it, or doing the sort of track that they added in Mortal Kombat 1. I can't remember the name of it because it's been that long since I played it. But there's very little to be done of that here. You do have a good selection of characters. There are 18, one of which is original to the game. I would like to say probably not, because there wasn't a black woman available to play otherwise, but that happens to be the new character they've made up for the game. Besides that, she does fit the tone of Invincible. She's called Elemental and can control the elements, so it's very sort of, if I didn't know she was an original character, I wouldn't have thought twice. I would have just said, okay, I haven't reached that part of the show yet. That would have been that simple. So she doesn't stand out, whatever underlying reasons there may be for her being there. And of course you get to go through the arcade, which is a ladder arcade again, but you got the easy one where you do 5 fights and you go through and unlock the ending of the first selected character. So you have to do that a few amount of times to get them all, so that does increase the longevity. But the story mode is where it really disappoints for me. The story mode, while it is good, it's an hour long. I just, what? And it ends on a cliffhanger. So I was very disappointed when it just ended. I'd heard the story mode was short. I didn't really think it was that short, but it was. So a little bit disappointing, but it just paves the way for basically some of the DLC could be story DLC. I mean, the DLC they've released so far is skins, and they're like £7 a piece or something, and That doesn't sit right with me. It smacks of like the exploitative DOA sort of selling tactic, except less, I don't want to say goonerish, but because I am myself a gooner. But you know what I mean, it's leaning heavily into the revealing outfits for the lovely ladies. So yes, you can get a towel skin for Explode. I'm sat on the Steam page and it's just displayed the ad for me. So yeah, the skins range from like £5 to £10. And you can get a Rexploder skin, which is him in a towel, and his private's blurred out from what I've seen. So, yes,
that's fucked up.
I won't be getting that one.
Don't do it again.
So, outside of the sporting story mode, I think it's really here for online play, which is something I don't engage in generally, and certainly not in fighting games, because I'm not good at fighting games. I play them on, relatively easy difficulties, and enjoy the power fantasy and watching all of the violence. That's kind of why I like fighting games, and also the storyline when there's like a complete one. But yeah, so it's definitely going to be, if you get a lot of bang for your buck out of the online modes in fighting games, and you particularly like combo systems like Killer Instinct, I think this is going to be one for you. It's not full price, so I can't rail too hard against it. It's £45 for the standard edition, which is the one that I purchased. So it could be a really good bargain, or if you're like me, not so great a bargain. I mean, once you've done the storyline and you're going through doing the arcade modes, and because you have to pick 3 fighters in the arcade modes. You can't like pick an option, just do it 1v1 or anything like that. It has to be 3. There are some fights in the story mode where the numbers on each side changes, and there are 1v1 fights in that. But nothing in the arcade. I'd like to see the option where you could just pick 1v1 if you wanted. I know a great part of the game is centered around using the tagging system. So you can use the tagging system to break counters and to sort of throw other members of your party into counters. You can even like force people to tag out. You basically boot them off screen and the other one comes in. So there's that. The tutorial is okay. It tells you how to do everything, but it's compounded by doing the thing I really hate. They couldn't be bothered to like detect what controller you're using, so they just have like hard, light, heavy, and when you're doing the tutorial and you haven't really had time enough to play it to get these which buttons correspond to which attacks in your brain, it means nothing. Absolutely nothing. You're like, okay, I need to press H and S and hold down what? A? Some of them are 3-button combos, including the shoulders. And you're just like, I have no idea what any of those buttons are. Well, you told me once, but I mean, my brain, you just go, throw heavy strike. Okay, which one's heavy strike? Oh, it's this button. Okay, I'll just press that button. Okay, next. And it's kind of like, that's as long as you get to memorize it. There's no sort of repetition to get it in your brain before they start throwing out these complicated moves. So maybe I would probably recommend using the tutorial once, just get the basic controls down, and once you've had a few fights and gotten your ass kicked because you're not using the braking and tagging systems correctly, go back, do it again, and then at least you'll know which button is which. Because I had a hell of a time doing that, and I did the tutorial like in the night, did a few fights, went to bed, came back the next morning and carried on, and I was like, I have no idea what the fucking controls are for any of this. Which I guess is, it would, I mean, like the super moves and the tags and all that, and I'm just like, what? And like a bumper and a trigger involves tagging, but which one is it? Which side? Damn it! It was very much like that. If they'd like taken the time to show you face buttons, I would have been like, oh, face buttons, right, it's that and that, perfect. Rather than having to think back to a previous tutorial session where I actually told you what that button was. It's just like, it's a little thing, but it kind of like really made it difficult for me to learn doing the more complicated stuff. So I think you do go up, there are levels in it, so you level up your player and you get rewards for going up player levels, and you go up with the characters and you get rewards for that. The rewards can do your standard stuff, so you have like a profile card and you can change the back, all that bollocks, which I hate. I think that's completely fucking pointless. I'd much rather get a much better reward for a hard fought level, but whatever. Although you do get costumes and alternate colour palettes for your existing costumes, stuff like that. So one nice feature it does have is you can basically set up a number of slots. So you have pre-selected teams and pre-selected skins on those teams. So when you come to like go fight online or whatever, you can just pick out one of your presets and off you go with that. So that's quite a good idea. I quite like that. It's not something I'm going to make use of, but it does strike me as being a pretty good idea. So I will give them their kudos for that. The game itself runs perfectly fine. I didn't really see any... It seems to be capped at 60, which is a little bit disappointing. Although I may have to recheck my graphics settings, but it does seem capped at 60. At least it didn't go above 60 while I was playing it, so put it that way. But there were no real big dips or anything like that. The animations and the cutscenes in the story are lovely. It's not reminiscent so much of the show, because it's done in a very much different art style. So it does look slightly different. They have got some of the voice actors back from the show, so J.K. Simmons is in there, and pretty much if you got J.K. Simmons, you can lowball the rest, so it doesn't matter. But they've still done a really good job. The ones they haven't got actors for, most notably Invincible himself. They didn't get Stephen Yuan, but the guy that's doing it, pretty good job. I mean, for most of the lines he says, you would find it tough to tell them apart, to be perfectly honest with you. So well done to him. All the rest of the voice cast do a fine job. The storyline of the story itself, I won't ruin it. I haven't even collected any footage of it, because if it's a 10-20 minute video, I've shown you a sixth to a third of the game, which I don't really want to do. So, you know, but the storyline it's okay. It's kind of like one we've seen before, where like people are fighting that maybe shouldn't have been, or people that I don't want to get too far in it, but you've seen the story before. Once you've played like a few fights in it, and like certain things are revealed, and you're like, okay, I understand now. I see what's going on here. So yeah, it's what you basically would expect after 2 fights in, I think. It's where things are weird. It's like, what's going on? I don't understand. And you know, the roster itself contains most of your favourite guys. I'm not familiar with all of them because I haven't met them yet in the show. But you've got Alan the Alien, Battle Beast, Invincible. You've got a whole cluster of Viltrumites, including Omni-Man and Conquest. Conquest I've heard of, but not seen in the show yet. There's also Thulla, who is, or Tulla, however you pronounce her name. She is the character I always go, ugh, when I see her on the opposing team. She can combo the shit out of you from a mile away with her stupid hair. She's like Bianca Belair, but she's stuck a knife in her head and actually make it effective. So, I hate her. It's like, however good I'm doing, as soon as she pops up, I know I'm gonna probably lose a couple of characters here. Because I find it very hard to get close and get off my own combos before she's hit me with her stupid hair. So yes, there you go, WWE. Stick a knife in her hair and make it less ridiculous. Thank you. I'll be seeing her for a while anyway. She's having a bloody baby. So yeah. Was I going? Yeah, I kind of got sidetracked. So yeah, a lot of the characters in there. There were a few I wasn't like. Bulletproof I've only just met in the show, so when I started playing this, I didn't know about him. And I think there's Powerplex. I think he's another one that I don't know about yet. But you've got Alan, you've got Battle Beast, you've got Omni-Man, you've got Robot, Duplicates in there. There's no shower with her, unfortunately. I was hoping to, don't worry. And of course, Atom Eve. So, you know, all the ones that you would expect to be in Invincible fighting game are in there, and there's more coming because they are releasing character DLC. I just saw one float past, but it's gone again now. So I think it's at the end of a trailer or something. I'll see if I can provoke it into showing me. I cannot. No. Okay. Yeah. So there were a couple on there, and there was one that I vaguely recognised. You know, I don't think Thrag's in the game. He's like a big Viltrumite, if what I can recall from various YouTube videos is correct. So he may be one that's coming up. As I say, I hope they do more story DLC, Because if you're one and done on infamous fighting games and that's where you leave the story, shame on you, bro. Shame on you. Oh. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the story. I just wish there was bloody more of it, to be perfectly honest. That's my biggest takeaway. And if it was like 25 quid, then, you know, I'd be like, okay, right, fine, whatever. An hour's worth of story and I can dick around playing it like in the arcade mode, no problem, fine. But 45 quid's a bit of an ask if you're not going to be an online player, if I'm honest. Unless you're a super fan of Invincible and want to play as, you know, the characters in a fighting game. You know, because there's always, you know, that section of the fan base where they're so into the property itself, you know, when it's licensed, they'll play it anyway. It's like, I was not going to pick up Injustice, even if, you know, it wasn't for me, but it turned out to be very much my style of fighting game, so yeah. But anyway, guys, that's been my opinion of Invincible. As I say, pick it up if you're an online guy and an Invincible fan. If you're just there for the story, maybe wait for it to go down in price, maybe hit PlayStation Plus, something like that, because you're going to be getting an hour, unless there's more DLC, but then you're going to have to pay more money for that. So yeah, have a think about it, because you might enjoy the game, but if you're just there for the story, there's not a whole bunch of it there. What's there is good, but there's not a whole bunch. Anyway, guys, take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.
Go time! Hell yeah! Your number's up! Boom! Quit it! That's for all the dumb shit orders I follow.